Hey everybody, this is Brandon Scott. I'm back again with another Fandom episode. If you were with us before, welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome. So, if you guessed from my clue from last time, you know that I am going to be talking about Newsies. Now, Newsies is another one that I personally have never seen live. As much as I would like to. I have only seen the movie. So Disney released the movie version of this in 1992. If you pay attention, you may have noticed a young Christian Bale playing Jack, one of the main characters. Now, like basically every musical I'm going to talk about, this one has multiple themes. It's possible we'll go back and talk about them again later. Who knows? We'll just have to see. So if you don't know, Newsies is based on historical fact. There was actually a newsboy strike in 1899 in New York. The boys were exploited beyond reason and finally basically had enough. They said, we're not going to deal with this anymore. We're going to fight back. What I want to look at in this musical is the fact that the newsboys, they saw an injustice and again decided to fight back. Their opponents were far more powerful, better armed, basically better in every way. There was really, other than numbers, there was really no reason that the newsboys ever thought that they could really win. And they really had the truth. That was the biggest piece of the whole thing. That was the biggest component, is they had the truth. They had conviction to do what was right, no matter what. I think this is a great reflection of what is going on in our own world right now. There's so many atrocities going on. People are getting killed across the globe. Children are dying. And I'm talking about right here in the United States, too. Persecution for your religious beliefs, among many other things. This is just a few of the things going on right now. And we, as Christians, should be stepping up, not just for our own religious beliefs, but for others as well. Our God calls us to be stepping up for everybody. The downtrodden, the underdogs. God's calling us to do that, to step up. In fact, the Christians should be the loudest voices out there fighting for those who can't fight maybe for themselves. This is not about political correctness. This is not about patriotism. This is about following God's command to love one another. If we are convicted by God to speak, then we have to speak. Even if we're the only voice speaking, we have to speak. We have to talk up. Even if we get shouted down, we have to talk. Even if we're called blasphemous, which is one of those churchy words that basically says you're going against God, we have to speak. There are those out there that we may be the only voice speaking for them. Proverbs 31:8 says, "Open your mouths for the mute, for the rights of all who are destitute." Just realized that kind of rhymes. Now, the song I want to talk about from Newsies is the song "The World Will Know." In it, the Newsies sing, "We'll do what we gotta do until we break the will of Mighty Bill and Joe." And now I'm not saying we should go after everybody called, named Bill and Joe, but rather what it's saying is that we need to step up and fight against whatever's out there, that quote, big monster that is bringing people down, that's keeping them down. Again, whether or not it's laws that are wrong, whether it's world leaders, whether it's anything, anything that's maybe a social injustice, something that we need to step up for. And it's going to be different convictions maybe for different people. So if God's calling you in one area of social injustice, you need to step up, and other people may not be hearing that voice too. But that's, again, where we're talking about we each have to step up. We each have to be the voice of maybe the voiceless. We need to go wherever God's voice is directing us. And sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's difficult. But as it says here, we're to open our mouths for the mute, for the rights of all who are destitute. Everybody. Because this world is most definitely not perfect. And so there are people out there that are struggling. If it wasn't for, all these other voices in the past, things would not have happened. We had Rosa Parks, who stepped up and said, I'm not going to deal with segregation anymore. Martin Luther King Jr. is another one. We had Schindler, who decided that he's going to help the Jews out of Germany. I mean, there's so many different voices that have spoken up before against what were laws at the time. And that's kind of a struggle, isn't it? We have Martin Luther, who within the church said, no more with this overriding control that says we can't do certain things. We can't help people like we feel called to do. He called out the church on their atrocities. So it's those types of things. Now, we need to be respectful, and we need not be violent, but we do need to step up. We do need to speak the words that God has given us to speak, even if it's scary, even if we're the only voice. And I think that's really just very, very important for us to remember. So, join me in a couple weeks as we come back, and as I've done every time, I'll give you a little clue to our next musical. We will look to see how we will measure a year. God bless. Thanks. And I'm so glad you joined us. Have a good day. Bye-bye.